These mistakes happen, and they are not only mistakes. They are situations that will make you feel bad about your English and slowly block your speaking potential. Identifying these mistakes will help you learn how to deal with them. I'm Teacher Prix, and I want to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. So here we go. First mistake. You will go through immigrations and you won't remember the most basic phrases. And the immigration officer will probably make you feel terrible about your English. That could be your first real interaction with English, and it could be a terrible one. It happens. People get nervous at the immigration. You may not understand all the questions, and because of that, you may ask the officer to repeat the questions a lot. And that will give you that feeling that you have no power because you cannot express yourself. I have been in this position. Conjugations. Yep, you will confuse present and past a lot. And depending on the conversation, the person listening to you may not understand you. And that will make you feel bad about your English. What's the problem with that? Your brain will start to make associations, negative associations, and will memorize all the negative feelings you had during that experience. And that experience is connected with English. The next time you plan your trip or have a meeting in English or an interview, you will feel really worried and anxious about your English. And because of those negative experiences, you will block your English speaking slowly, but you will. You may get wrong orders at restaurants. Yeah, anyone could have problems at restaurants. What you need to do in those situations is to keep calm so that you can find a better solution to that problem. But what happens? The opposite. And consequently, you start to make more negative associations with the language, and the next time you have a similar situation, you will probably get stuck. You will feel stupid sometimes. Yes, when we don't have a great speaking skill, we feel bad, like the ugly duck. I had these problems, and I sometimes do when I am talking to native speakers and my English is not so good, in my personal opinion. So we tend to feel stupid or bad about ourselves. Once I was having a conversation with a friend who is a native speaker, and he was telling me about his vacation in, I think the name of the city is New Mexico in the United States. But I misunderstood him and I thought he was going to Mexico, the country. So I started talking about Frida Kahlo, tequila, and so many other Mexican things. At some point, he looked really strange and he politely corrected me. I felt horrible. Like, super stupid. This happens to anyone in any level. The problem is the negative associations you make with your speaking potential. You will speak the English from the books, not the real English. You will speak the English from the books and say things like, fine, thanks, I would like, o'clock, teacher, yes I do, nice to meet you. And someone will eventually look at you and make you feel like there's something wrong. I have done that many times. I was speaking super correctly, but for some reason, it felt wrong for the native speakers. Sometimes you will make mistakes just by speaking the correct formal English that schools teach. You will speak numbers and emails and personal information incorrectly. Yep. It doesn't matter how much you know about numbers and vocabulary, that will happen. But that doesn't mean you can't speak English. Maybe you just had a bad day. And finally, you will repeat these mistakes over and over again because you are a human being. But the biggest problem about these mistakes is the consequence here in your brain. It will start to build negative feelings and memories and associations connected to your ability to speak English. And because of that, you will get stuck and you will slowly build a speaking barrier. Because every time you try to speak English, all those horrible memories will surface. And that will stop you from speaking the real English. It's a real challenge for English speakers like you and me. And no matter how many new lessons you study, you will not speak because of all those negative experiences that are blocking your speaking potential. Well, how do you deal with these problems? I do have some recommendations for you. The first one is to join my email list. I'm creating new content based on these problems English learners have during travels, meetings, job interviews, restaurants, exchange programs, and so many other situations like that. The materials will be primarily in English, with a little bit of Portuguese for those who are more basic speakers. You will get lessons on how to use the English you already have to succeed in those situations. The real English, not the school English. And make sure to subscribe so that you can get more English lessons and tips like this one today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!